Hello everyone! A little over a week ago, this channel hit 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, I'm blown away by how that happened. I really don't know for sure, but I think a celebration video is in order, so wasn't really sure how to go about making a video, but I think I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my personal story, and of course, above all else, a big thank you. You're gonna hear me say thank you a fair bit in this video to you guys, because it's definitely about you guys. It is gonna be about me though, in the sense that I suspect at least a few of you out there might want to know a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend behind the camera here. And I'm gonna share with you guys kind of my gaming story in particular, everything leading up to streaming and how I've arrived at this place, as well as my streaming experience in particular. It's been mostly great, obviously, but you know, there's a little bit of details there to share, I think. Sort of my thoughts on the whole thing, how it's turned out, and perhaps most importantly, anticipating the future of this stream. Not just a few videos in the next couple of weeks, but more broadly speaking, generally into the future, long term, you know, what this channel, the kind of direction I plan to take this, to see if it is in fact going to be a long-term thing or not. So again, huge thank you to you guys. Welcome to the channel. My name is Steven. Yes, actually, I have a real name. It's not Snoo. Snoo is my alias since I basically first started gaming on the internet when I was like, what, 13 years old or something like that. And how did I come up with that name? Might surprise you. I just thought it was a really cool sounding name. I thought it made me sound cool. You know, it's a cool sounding name to the average 13-year-old boy. So that's kind of where we arrived there. Now, going back even a little further, of course, I started gaming way before that. I still remember the first time I stepped into our local Walmart, and they had that whole like game display system thing where the controller was there and you could look way up into the TV screen. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. They were playing the original Mario on the NES there, the original Nintendo NES, and that I still have that memory of it. I mean, that's how amazing that experience was, playing that game. My parents bought me one of those, and I had a Super NES after that. I had a Nintendo 64 after that, and then came the world of online gaming, where I got some. You know, we had a personal computer in the house, and you could not play games on the internet with console for about 4 or 5 years there, and for that reason mainly, I switched over to computer gaming. I think a lot of you probably share that same experience, where a big part of why we're all PC gamers is because you just couldn't even play online. You obviously didn't have smartphones. You didn't have internet capacity. There was no Xbox Live yet. I think that was like the first iteration of a console that could go on the internet. So many of us were doing online stuff. Online games. Some of my favorite games right off the bat were, I remember it was Age of Empires, the original Age of Empires. I loved that game. I played it offline mostly though. The first major game that I played online, StarCraft. Oh yeah. I'm a total Blizzard head. I'm a super loyal Blizzard gamer. It is in fact written on my Twitch bio. And yeah, so StarCraft, Brood War, RTS, you know, as a young guy, it's a lot of fun, you know, very quick reaction time, intense, stressful. I enjoyed it very much. Not so much into that kind of game now that I'm a little bit older. But let's see, then Diablo 2, of course. I mean, we can all agree that Diablo 2 is an incredible game-changing game. I mean, it just completely unlocked the ARPG genre in my head. I didn't know anything much about it before that. And then I played World of Warcraft for a few years, all the wonder and magic of that game. You know, I was just totally in love with gaming, online gaming, with a variety of different genres. But I must say, between, for example, StarCraft, Diablo, and World of Warcraft, I think Diablo really was my favorite, as far as just overall gaming experience. I didn't well, I suppose you could say it was the best game ever, but maybe World of Warcraft is a little bit more, how should I say, was just more of a game, more game-breaking of a game, and so there was a lot more wonder and excitement involved in that. But as far as just consistent enjoyment of a game, I mean, nothing gave me that more than Diablo. Now, Path of Exile came out however many years ago, and for whatever reason, I didn't really seek to check it out. For the longest time, I was busy playing World of Warcraft, I think. Or Diablo 3, of course. Diablo 3 came out, and then Diablo 3 became a huge letdown after so many changes were involved. For the record, as far as Diablo 3, I think that was actually my most enjoyable gaming experience ever. Diablo 3, vanilla Diablo 3, the first few patches of it. I'm somebody who likes trade. I know a lot of people out here don't really like trade. I like trade. I thought it was a sin when they took it away and they changed the game completely with the drops and stuff. I enjoy that aspect of the game, so eventually, you know, I went back to World of Warcraft and I was trying to figure out other games. I was playing Age of Empires 2 online. Eventually, I did check out Path of Exile 4 seasons ago, back in Ultimatum, and I fell in love with it naturally. It was quite a task to get into. There's so much to learn, but it is what it is. That's part of what makes it such a fantastic game for anyone who does put in the time and effort to do that. And that's part of the reason why I have this stream here, because I recognize there's so much stuff to learn. And honestly, given how complex Path of Exile is, it would seem that there's actually very few content creators in this. For how complex this game, there's very few content creators making content. There's so much unexplored content out there. It's actually pretty easy to make a video about something that hasn't ever really been made, or at least with an angle that hasn't really been discovered. My first super popular video was that video about blight, just farming blight. I mean, people have talked about and made videos about blight for the longest time, and yet that one was so well received because it kind of presented a unique angle on it for that particular season. It was just the right video at the right time, I guess, and it is what helped catapult this stream off. Certainly, I must admit. I should talk about that streaming experience while we're at it. You know, the biggest thing I gotta say is I can't believe the level of positivity I've gotten from you guys, from the fans, from even complete strangers, people who aren't actually following, but still maybe make a comment or whatever. Of course, there has been some constructive criticism, which I heed very intensely. You know, I'm definitely taking a look at any reasonable criticism. But to be honest, I'm my own biggest critic anyway, so there's probably not much anyone can say that is harsher on me than what I'll say to myself after watching videos. I do think that it's something that has helped me get much better at the videos. It so happens that I'm an English teacher as well, so I do have somewhat of an authority on, you know, examining somebody's speech, their delivery, when they're speaking, things like that. And yeah, I'm very harsh on myself. And you might have noticed a change in my demeanor, change in my speech patterns, you know, how I kind of talk into the mic. I've got quite a nice setup here. I got a green screen behind me. I got one of these really nice mics here. I got a brand new computer even last season. So this all kind of came about very quickly, and it wasn't really my intention to be any kind of big time streamer. I just did this because I wanted to. One of the first things I checked from people who are really good at this is, in terms of their advice to a new streamer, the number one takeaway I got was, if you want to be a streamer, don't do it to be a streamer. Just do it because that's what you like doing. You know, if you're gonna be a streamer, do it because you want to, not because you want to impress other people or you want to, you know, make a bunch of money doing it or something like that. And that's how I felt. I was like, well, you know what? I actually just genuinely want to do it. I genuinely want to try. I want to kind of share, you know, what I'm doing and see if people pick up on it. If not, fine. If yes, then okay, great too. And apparently it was the latter. People really did pick up on me streaming. Now, this is not actually the first time I started streaming. This channel and my streaming here started about two seasons ago. I think I started around Scourge League, and I had actually streamed before that in Diablo 3 Vanilla. That was a lot of fun. Of course, like I mentioned before, that was my favorite gaming experience ever, really. So I also felt like if I was to ever stream something, that might be the time to do it. It so happened that at that time I was doing some things that basically no one else was doing. I wasn't going to say this, but I have a few ideas going into the future. I was able to find a few throwback videos of my own on my old channel. There's not nearly as much content as I hoped there was, because I didn't upload very much stuff to YouTube. But I do have a few videos I'm going to share with you guys in the future that showcase me streaming back in the day, back when the internet was really bad. And that is another point I want to make. Part of the reason of my success this time is I live in Tokyo now as an English teacher here, and the internet is great. I also have a computer that's pretty strong, can handle just about anything, and that's not something I had access to. I'm originally from Indiana in the US, countryside, by the way, and especially looking at like in the past 10 to 20 years, we did not have very good internet, very reliable internet, many options for good internet. When I first started gaming on the computer back in the late 1990s, I mean, it was dial-up 56K modem. We didn't even get cable for many years after that. So it was a big challenge. So finally I'm in a place where I'm spoiled as far as the internet is concerned, and that has been a world of change for me. And it has certainly contributed to the success of my gaming, my streaming, and all of that. So that is kind of my streaming experience. Again, just really thankful for you guys. One more thing I'll say on that. What I've noticed from the comments, first of all, I can't believe there's hardly any negative comments. The internet's a terrible place. Like, how am I getting just so many positive comments? Many people saying good things. I must be doing something right. But I'm really taken aback by the positivity I've gotten from the community. It probably has something to do with the fact that I'm not a very negative person myself. I'm not typically, expressing a negative attitude about too much stuff. You will catch me saying some negative things on Twitch stream at times, but as far as inside the YouTube videos, no, typically not. I try to make it a habit of not spreading negativity when I can. Try to be a relatively positive person, or highly informational person at least. It would seem that to be a good streamer, you have to either be highly informational or highly entertaining, and only those few super talented people can thread the needle on both. I'm pretty sure I'm very much more on the informational side of things, and you guys have let me know that. I've went on my way to ask you guys, what is it about this channel, what is it about this stream that you like so much? And it's basically always the same answer. It's just kind of chilled, relaxed attitude, and you're just super informational. So much information packed into a video, and that even though many of my videos are incredibly long, which that is something unique to my stream, some of you have criticized this. It's a little overbearing sometimes. I totally understand that, but a lot of you have said, I don't mind. Really, I mean, if you're gonna pack in so much good information in that time, that's fine. And to that note, I have tried to improve my delivery and my speech to be a little bit more concise with the ideas and the information as I present it. So with that said, I don't want to ramble too much about this. And let's move on to the next part, which is kind of anticipating the future of the stream. Well, the truth is, I don't really know what the future of the stream is going to be. I'm going to continue making content like this. When I come up with like a new streaming series of videos, it's usually just, I just think of it out of thin air, and then I think about it for about 5 minutes, and I think to myself, is that something I want to do? Will that be worth the time? And then I also think, is that something that people might want to see? And if the answer is yes to both those questions, I'm just like, okay, let's do it. That's how I came up with doing the quick tips stuff. That's how I came up with doing the crafting videos. That's how I came up with doing the shadowing series and stuff, as well as these really long farming sessions, which do seem to be the bedrock of my stream, where I farm 16 maps, 16 super juice maps, or 100 maps farmed, or more recently 500 maps farmed. And I don't think you guys are watching it so much because you're entertained with seeing a character just zoom through the map, but you are genuinely interested to see the results of that. What the culmination of building a character up that can go that fast, and what kind of currency per hour that can make, and how it would translate to you guys as well. I'm a little bit surprised that people were so interested in those types of videos in particular. I honestly think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's just not very many other people doing it that way, that intensely and that informatively. So that is something I will certainly keep doing. And to be honest with you guys, that's actually my favorite kind of video, because I think I like playing the game more than I like streaming the game, if I'm being honest with myself. So being able to stream in a way that really involves me playing the game, a lot of the game at a given moment, that is enjoyable for me. I do have a background in graphic arts, so as far as making thumbnails, as far as editing some videos, I'm not completely in the dark for that. There's so much stuff I have to learn. I'm constantly like researching stuff on YouTube, and yeah, sometimes, especially if I make a new video archetype, look at an entire day's worth of learning and researching and editing and doing stuff to pull that off. And it's a bit of a slog sometimes, but it's given me new skills. These sorts of things can translate to the real world in the corporate life and all that stuff. One thing you guys might be interested in is, would I ever stream full-time? Well, I think I would. When I've been happiest in my life has not been when I'm not working or when I'm working full-time, but it's actually been when I'm working kind of a part-time, when I have like a part-time job, and then I'm able to play a lot of video games as a result. I'm someone who actually does enjoy working, like having a real job, but I don't like doing it 5 days a week full time, really. That is what I'm doing right now, and it's to pay the bills, naturally. So I would love it if I could somehow transition to like a double part-time, like, part-time streaming, part-time working, something like that. Would make me really happy if I could do that. So that is kind of one of those, far-reaching goals of mine. If this continues to be a success and the channel continues to grow, that's great. I'm sure I'll have to keep coming up with new ideas. I can't just keep making the same kind of videos and the channel just keep growing at a steady rate. But for now, it really has been an impressive feat in my opinion. So I'm truly humbled by all the support I've gotten from you guys. There is of course, if you're not aware of this, there will be a link below for the Twitch stream. I do stream. I don't really have things scheduled so much because I'm quite busy with work, but generally speaking, I stream on average maybe 3 days a week and 4 to 6 hours at a time. Quite often when I'm streaming, I'm actually in the process of making a video, so I'll be saying a lot of things, informative things, and you can always ask me questions there. So things are looking up, basically, this grand scheme of things. So we got 1,000 subscribers. I don't know when I'll make another video like this in particular, but that's a little bit about my story. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I try to make a rule of thumb of not getting too personal. You can ask me personal questions in the comments below if you want, but honestly, try not to go overly personal on that stuff. I'll answer it if I think it's appropriate. And of course, if you have any questions about Path of Exile or anything about streaming in general, happy to answer all those questions. Keep staying tuned and keep supporting the channel. I'm not going anywhere. We got one season after another. You'll notice I'm someone who streams like all throughout the entire season. I plan to keep that trend. I'm very much enjoying this game. I'm nowhere near sick of this game. I only started playing like 1 year ago. So that's where I'm at on this channel, and that's about all there is to say, really. So keep on enjoying the content. And for once, I will actually say it. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, of course, there's a button down there you can subscribe to, hit the bell for notifications and all that stuff. I think it's a little silly when content creators do that, like we don't already know it's there. But anyway, for the special occasion, I will go ahead and say that. I appreciate you guys, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in game. Bye for now.